to Left Coast Live. It is Tuesday, January 27th, 2026. I am your host, Dieter McBusiness, America's favorite white Anglo-Saxon Protestant gone West Coastal. Joined as always by the one and only Stat Pat Stateless Patriot. We are California lefties talking to you about national politics. Although today, Stat Pat, it seems like these last few weeks have been all about ICE in Minneapolis.
Mm-hmm.
So we are going to start the show there because we haven't had a chance to get online since the latest killing
Yeah,
by an masked ICE agent.
yeah,
And so I want you to lead off here because so much stuff has already been said and done. But I mean, this was even more
yeah.
egregious than Renee Good because the video shows the guy getting disarmed. And,
Yes,
you know,
exactly.
the guy, it's just like, and then they're saying you don't show up to protest with weapons. And I mean, they just keep coming up with excuses, the right that is. They keep
Yeah.
coming up with excuses for you to be like, yeah, he deserved it. That's what they want. That's the end attitude that they want from their viewers.
Yeah. No, exactly. They're they're just repeating the immediate lies that were put out by the Department of Homeland Security and ICE and Greg Balvino, who was in charge of the operations there in Minneapolis, but has since been basically demoted and I guess basically forced to retire. So he'll be out in El Centro, California, if I remember correctly. And it's just the lies are absolutely egregious. They immediately smeared him. Just the exact same thing they did with Renee Good. They did to
Yeah.
Alex Pretti. They said that he was a domestic terrorist and was uh, threatening ICE agents, and he was there to just cause like as much harm as possible, which is total bullshit. I mean, this is why you always film ICE because not a lot of people know, but ICE has killed 9 people so far this year, just this year. The other 7 people, unfortunately, we don't, as far as I know, we don't have video evidence of that happening. So who knows? Um,
What actually happened,
it,
right?
not to mention the lies, because not only do we not only have we seen them like just lie blatantly, it's pathological, like immediately just to protect their own asses because they can do no wrong. According to them, they have total immunity. It's totally everything's totally justified. But now, when video evidence clearly flies in the face of their
Right.
narrative, and everyone with a functioning brainstem and working eyes can see each of the video angles
Right.
for what was clearly an unjustified murder of an
Mhm.
unarmed individual, not just unarmed but disarmed. He had his side piece at a 6 o'clock, never reached for it once, hand free, protecting himself from the pepper spray, and in his other hand was his phone. And they tackled him to the ground, disarmed him, and let it loose. 2 people shot at him. Two ice people. Not even, they're 2 fucking demons, soulless fucking cowards, thugs. Shot and killed him. Well, the first guy that shot him, I think it was 7 shots that were let off, and then a second agent just took an extra 5 shots at his dead body as it just laid there.
Right.
Like with we're not dealing with human beings. We're dealing with soulless fucking demons. Those are the kind of people that join the ranks of ICE. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Nazis.
yeah. Obviously desperate people, and you have people who are part of extremist groups. Yeah, monsters, absolute monsters. You have such low standards to get to be able to become part of ICE to begin with. Like anybody can just become an agent. Then the training is so lacking. It's no wonder shit like this happened, and it's going to happen again unless ICE is abolished. Like that is the moderate position at this point. Their support has fallen off a cliff. Their approval rating is just
Yeah, I think
plummeted.
over 50%. It was close. It was like 49, 47 or something like that.
It's down to 39
And now
percent
it's yeah, yeah,
approval.
yeah, 39% approval for ICE, and then I know abolishing is over 50%. So it's
Hmm.
just the trends are in the right direction. I'm actually pretty dispassionate about it at this point. I mean, this is what fascism looks like. We are living it.
Yeah.
And the real test is going to be, can we vote our way out of fascism? I hope so. It's never been done before, but who's to say that just because it hasn't been done before doesn't mean it can't happen?
No, of course.
But that's my hope, is that that's the most peaceful way out of this, is we just kind of survive for the next 3 years, and then hopefully after that people go to jail or prison.
Yes. No, no, yeah.
But
Like
that's I
that's
mean that's it's going to be part of the campaign rhetoric. There's going to be a list of demands
yeah.
from the DSA, of which I'm a part, that I think really is going
Hmm.
to be prerequisites for the next presidential campaign. Like
Yeah.
there need to be promises, absolute non-negotiables. You know, as far as our political contingent is concerned, Israel is committing genocide
Hmm.
in Palestine. Now, point number one. Bonus points if you're down for destroying APAC, right?
Hmm.
That's the easiest litmus test. That's the only reason I start there, is because it's so fucking easy if you're on the left.
Yes.
If you're on the progressive left. It's just an easy way to figure out if people know what the fuck they're talking about. And
No.
then
Yeah. Of course.
secondly, then I think after that it's down with the establishment and baby boomer generational change. Like no more boomers,
Yeah.
no more boomers, and we need a 40-year plan. This isn't about one president, because a president can only last you 8 years. Not even really in terms of political mileage, not even that long.
Yeah.
So what you want is probably like 5 consecutive presidents, each leftier than the one before them.
Yes. Please.
That would probably be the most natural, organic way out of this situation if the political mechanisms of our society hold. But I'm not sure they will. And I know you're not sure either. But hey, listen,
Sure.
I know I sound cold, but it's war. I've been saying
Hmm.
it's war for years now. The reason why isn't because I wanted it to be war. The reason why is because they wanted it to be war.
Yeah.
They made it a war. So the war actually started all the way back in 2016 when he fucking won the first time.
Hmm.
So people want to know, oh, there's a civil war coming. Is civil war? We're in it. We're in it.
Yeah.
People are dying. It's a fucking war. It went hot. It was a civil Cold War up until January 6th, 2021.
Hmm.
And then it went hot.
Hmm.
Then it went cold again. Now it's gone hot and again.
Yeah.
And it's gotten hotter and hotter every goddamn year.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Exactly.
Yeah.
It-
This is the thing, eco socialists. And, this isn't something. Here's the thing about me, I don't claim to be a genius. I claim to maybe be brilliant if I'm right about enough things, but that's an earned status. The the key is simplicity. The key is simplifying things down for people, because the
yeah.
rat's nest of a media landscape that we have is going to have you turning your head and second guessing yourself if you're an ignorant person. If you're not an educated person, if you don't know how to think critically, if you don't know how to sift through propaganda, you're so vulnerable to being caught up in, the empire, the dark side of the force.
Yeah.
What do they call them? The Palpatine's empire,
The Sith.
the Sith. Yeah, well, those are the lords, though. Those are like the elite evil baddies.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those are like Stephen Miller is a Sith.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like to think.
The
I
Empire,
like
the
to
dark
think that
side.
I like to think that I'm a Sith because of the way I was brought up. I like to think that I was born a Sith and then crossed over to the Jedi side
There
and
you
have
go.
now become a Jedi. But I don't know if that works for people or not. But
Right.
thank you. I mean, yes, it really is that simple. Try to
It really
like
is.
people because our biggest enemy is people. Our biggest enemy has been for a really long time, and I think we're finally getting over it. Is people being like, it's not that bad,
Hmm.
right? It's not fascism. It's not modern day Nazis. It's not white trash America trying to get revenge on the rest of America for looking down on them since the 1860s.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, it actually is.
Yeah.
Oh,
A lot of
good.
them.
Yeah, I'm more Star Trek too, actually, eco socialist. Real quick. Remember, politics is Star Wars, policy should be Star Trek, and political marketing is either Jurassic Park, where you got to kill dinosaurs, or it's Inception. Depends on your audience.
Hmm.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So I mean, um, I lost it. I totally lost it.
Oh man, I
I had
fucked you
something.
up. I'm sorry.
No, it's totally good.
We were
It
talking about how it's a war and trying to simplify and get people's expectations about it,
yeah.
right? Like that's what's driving me nuts is people being like that don't expect civility anymore. And
Yes.
and and by the way, like this
This
is not
is
about just winning. This is
yeah.
about destroying. This is about like getting the upper hand and keeping the upper hand for generations, so that an entire that's the goal is an entire generation of Americans grow up being educated and enlightened to the point of knowing that there is nothing socio-politically advantageous about conservative values.
Yes.
Nothing.
Yes.
There used to be within the context of the Cold War. The Cold War, it put united people and it helped us win,
Hmm.
but it was like cocaine. Like it was too much. Like we got addicted to it. We got
Yeah.
addicted to that kind of economy. And here we
Yeah.
are, reaping the fucking whirlwind for it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. You take it over because usually when I start talking like this, I end up talking about retribution towards the boomers. But I
Yeah.
don't want to go
The
there right now.
the I mean, the worst among us, like the far right people whose eyes clearly don't work, who don't even care about what happened. They like, oh, I mean, if you gotta, kill a couple of you know, ICU nurses who work for the VA and tend to our sick and dying veterans who is legally caring.
Right,
And
devaluing the human life. Yeah.
yeah, if you got to devalue human life and oppress U.S. citizens in order to get the illegals out, then I guess it's worth it. That's how a lot of these fucking people think on the fucking far right and shit, and it's
Yes,
beyond
it's
vile
evil.
and disgusting. It's fucking evil.
It's evil.
Yeah, it's
It's
like these people
fucking
haven't
evil.
fucking done anything to you. You just don't like the fact that they're here and they're encroaching on your fucking whiteness.
So
That's literally how a lot of these fucking people talk. It's
and
how
and
a
I
lot of
got
these
it, and I
people
got
think.
news for you. And I got news for you. It's not just the percentages are lower,
Hmm.
but I have a friend who's a very successful Ivy League grad, and he keeps finding ways to defend ICE.
Mm,
And he isn't anywhere near the abolish ICE trend. He thinks that ICE is like an unfortunate must have in our society. And he
no.
just keeps talking himself into seeing the uniform behave appropriately. Like, there, for a lot of people, as even the educated and enlightened and intelligent people in this country, a lot of them are blinded by their own respect
Hmm.
for authoritarianism.
Yes, one hundred
And
percent. I've noticed that too.
this buddy of mine wants law and order, and he thinks that the protesters are misfits, causing trouble, and that they deserve this shit. And whenever like, you know, we come up and whenever he gets challenged on is a group chat obviously of old friends,
Hmm.
and whenever he gets challenged on, these are just people, dude. What are you talking about? They're
Yeah,
they're just protesting. They're
yeah.
not they're not looking for a fight. They're just looking to make a
And the
point.
people and the ones in uniform are just people too. It's like, why are you idolizing
But
them?
he always shows pictures and short videos of like the most lefty people you can imagine, meaning the
Yeah.
blue-haired freaks, right? That old stereotype,
Yep. That's how.
right? Like
Yep.
I got him into finally just being like, you just don't want to be on the same side as the freaks, geeks, and weirdos. You would rather be on
Hmm.
the side of the white trash bullies with the uniforms and the guns than
Hmm.
you would be on the side of the freaks, geeks, and weirdos. Because
Yeah.
you don't want to fucking, you don't want to be a pussy
Yeah.
because
And
you think they're all pussies.
it's easy.
And he's like, yeah, you agree with that.
God, it's easy to frame anybody to the left of you as freaks, geeks, and weirdos when that's all you're fucking fed. That's the propaganda. Like these.
Yeah, but he's supposed
Right.
to know better than that. He's fucking Ivy League educated, well traveled, all over the world, like
Yeah,
successful. Like
it's like
he's
you
one of
need to
those
like.
guys. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, man. This is one of my superpowers is coming from privilege and understanding that self-made sociopath, like the people with the attitude of if I did it, anybody can do it.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
That's not true. You got
Mm,
lucky, probably more than once, but a
mm.
number of times in a very important way. You were the benefit of variables beyond your control lining up to create an opportunity for you
Yeah.
economically. Okay.
100%.
So like give me a goddamn break. And he's just like, so I'm actually I don't think that the privileged lefties are useless. I think
Hmm.
they need to know their role. I'm talking about, myself right now. But like there is there is danger in uh seeing someone who is self-made as someone who like has it all figured out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I've said that in one of my decrees where I was talking about Elon Musk. Just because someone is the best at what they do or among the best at what they do doesn't mean they're good at anything else, much less everything else.
Right. Yeah. Like it's rare to like people act like he's this Swiss Army knife of a person. It's just like it's not even
Right.
true. There are a few people even fucking like that whatsoever, and it's like idolizing authority just for the sake of it is going to lead you to a moral conundrum. Like I think a lot of people are actually facing currently. Nothing in my life that I've noticed has come even close to this. You have this administration, the U.S. administration, the Trump administration, lying blatantly and telling us not to believe our own eyes, not to believe our own perception. It I've just been so baffled that there can still be people out there that don't see it. But fortunately, my point is what I'm trying to get to is a lot of people are actually like, this is not okay. I don't usually speak up about these kind of things,
Right.
but this is something that needs to change. I don't
Yes.
support this at all. ICE needs to go away. Trump has gone too far. I lean conservative. I vote Republican, but this is obviously bad. um Fortunately there's been enough of that to where I'm like, okay, people are actually coming to their senses regarding this. But it's so easy to focus on the small groups of like insane radicals that think that reality has a left-wing bias, and honestly it does. But they think that reality is just an affront to their beliefs because they can't entertain the fact that they might be wrong.
Right. Well, I think a lot of it has to do with for people like this. I'm talking about conservatives, or, narrow-minded. They like being
Far
told
right
what to
people,
do,
yeah,
and they like being told what to do and what to think in a certain way.
exactly.
And
Like they no,
they
seriously, and I'm sorry to cut you off, but that's
no,
exactly
God,
what's been going on too. Fox News came out like I said, just repeating the party line. Alex Pretti was resisting violently, and an ICE agent fired defensive shots into the back of Alex Pretti. It's like, are you kidding me? this is what you're going with, like, um, because you're right. People who watch programs like Fox News or follow, um, you know, conservative accounts or Facebook pages or whatever, that just toe the government narrative, toe the Trump party line. They don't have independent thoughts. They just repeat what their algorithm feeds them. And those are the too far gones. But the people who can actually like form an independent thought and like fire one neuron to the next and actually think about what it is they're seeing and take a step beyond that and actually address how it conflicts with the narrative being pushed out by officials. Those people were reachable. Like not everybody has lost their mind, and fortunately, I've seen the tide start to shift in a way, and but that doesn't make what happened any less egregious. ICE absolutely needs to be abolished. That is the moderate position. And I'll go a little bit more left than that. Try and charge every single ICE agent. Fucking hold
Yes.
some trials like Nuremberg and shit. And
Yeah.
all the leaders behind all of it, all the people who are pushing out the memos that
Now,
the
anybody
Fourth Amendment
anybody who
doesn't
was
matter.
complicit,
Yeah,
anybody who was complicit.
exactly like the memos that challenge the Fourth Amendment, like they're going to just knock down doors regardless of if they have a warrant or Pam Bondi apparently, I guess there's a memo leaked out of the I think it's the DOJ, saying that we will withdraw ICE from Minneapolis if Minnesota turns over their voter rolls. So like that's extortion for one, and like on top of that, those are private voter rolls. Like, what does the federal government need those for? Not to mention uh that's tampering with the upcoming election because midterms are this year. It's election interference. It's like it's crime on top of crime on top of crime. Like at the very least, trials do need to come of this. But if you go farther than left than that, I think people can kind of put the pieces together. Um, because honestly, like
Hmm.
so many of these people need to go away forever.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a long, drawn out fight
Hmm.
to clean up the mess and make sure that, I mean, none of them can be welcome in major American metro areas
No,
for the rest of time. I
I
mean,
want it to
Steve
be.
Bannon, Steve Miller, like these people coming down New York, down Manhattan, like I want them protested
Yeah,
every step of the way, wherever they go, airports, everywhere.
yeah,
So that's why I think there should be an app that we make, and we can have businesses use it too, where you take a picture
yeah.
of people that before you let them into your restaurant or whatever,
Hmm.
and it just confirms that they're not MAGA.
I've, I mean, probably like you probably like tap.
Like a sex offender
Well,
registry,
sure, yeah, that's one way to do it. But you kind of made me think. Well, I mean, Palantir might be interested in something like that.
Right.
But you have brought that up before on past shows, and it reminded me. I did see a video recently out of I think it was either Portland, Maine, or Bangor, Maine, one of the two big cities in Maine, and this dude was just following a couple of apparent ICE agents out of a bar that they were just kicked out of, and just laying into them like, you are thugs, you are terrorists, you are not welcome here, everybody hates you, you're pieces of shit, fuck you, never show your faces here again. It's just like, bravo, bravo, more than
Yeah.
fucking shit. Yeah, and like we talked about, I think we talked about in the last show. The reason they're picking on a city like Minneapolis, apart from the Nick Shirley hoax bullshit, the
The Muslim
expose,
population.
like the Somali daycare shit, that's a big reason why these operations were these operations exploded in the first place is because of that fucking moron, that drooling idiot's fake expose. Aside from that, the reason they pick on Minneapolis is because it's Ilhan Omar State, and of course, it all ties back to racism. This is Stephen Miller's doing. Nobody likes Tim Waltz. It's just easy bullying targets.
Right.
And it's been that way for a lot of right wingers and right wing accounts for fucking the past year, even longer than that. It's just they'll go after what they feel seems to be the easiest. But now looks like they're getting kicked out. ICE is probably going to start leaving Minnesota, or at least Minneapolis.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Hmm. Yeah,
Seems
yeah,
like a
because it's
big.
working.
It's like a win. Yeah, it's a win.
Yeah, it's almost like protest fucking matters. And now, I guess, the idea of a nationwide general strike is gathering a hell of a lot of steam, and God, that'd be amazing. Every single union should be involved with it. It should be it really should be like an every state thing, just to like make it clear we don't want ICE in our states. We don't support any of this shit.
Hmm.
Because it really does come down to like, do I want to risk, you know, do I want to fight or risk being rounded up and thrown into a detainment center for days on end? You know, uh, where the conditions are so grueling and vile and disgusting, where that's going to be the next thing. That's going to be the next major focus, I think, is now that they're starting to backpedal a little bit and they're starting to the cracks are beginning to show. They're starting to feel the pressure. A lot more people are going to start pointing out. So let's talk about these detention centers. Let's talk about these concentration camps that you're sending detainees to.
Right.
These so-called violent immigrants and whatnot. These illegals. You know, like you try
Hmm.
to talk sense to a lot of these people, and a lot of them don't realize that 73% of the people, on average, being rounded up, do not have any criminal history to speak of.
Right.
You
Yeah,
know,
something like less than 5% of the people that ICE have rounded up are actual criminals.
yeah, like actual like violent like criminals, something like I think like the number's even smaller than that. It's that
Yeah.
crazy. So like when I hear, excuse me, when I hear people go like, "Oh, well, do you like having violent illegals on the street? Like, do you support them raping women and killing people and shit?" It's just like obviously fucking not.
Right.
But clearly they're causing like ICE is causing more harm than good. Why are they rounding up innocent people? Like,
Yeah, this isn't about
yeah, that
law
them being here
enforcement.
illegally is a civil offense. It's not a
This is
fucking
about
felony.
this is racial profiling on
It is a racial
steroids,
it is a
dude.
racial war.
This is racial profile. Like
It
we
is
went through this
entirely
with the
civil.
war on drugs, and I want to make sure
Yeah,
we give eco-socialist credit for this comment because yes, Black America is very, very familiar
yeah.
with
Mhm,
with what's going on right here in their own communities.
mhm.
Um, and yeah, Tim Walz has been a good governor in Minneapolis, but he also needs to kind of take a back seat now because he's so fucking old.
Yeah,
It's just enough, enough. You're an elder. You are no longer a central
he's
figure
been
in the American political left.
yeah, he's been rather weak. I'm actually really disappointed, but I mean, he has
He
said some
just
good
he's
things,
too
and
nice.
yes, yeah,
Enough of the nice Midwesterners. Okay?
yeah,
I know you want a Midwesterner really badly. Fuck that. I want someone from the I-95 corridor or
mhm,
someone who like spent some serious time in the I-95 corridor because that's where the culture of competition lives in
mhm,
this country. All right?
yeah, yeah,
It's
100%.
where the culture of competition lives in America. It is Baltimore, Washington, New York, DC, Philly, Chicago, or Philly and Boston.
Yeah,
Like it's just like, and then Chicago, like there's some tough people out of Chicago for sure,
Hmm.
but like isn't Ken Martin the DNC guy? Isn't
Yeah,
he from Minnesota or Wisconsin? Oh, I think he's from Wisconsin.
might be from Wisconsin. Yeah,
Yeah, but he's got to go. That guy's
yeah,
got to go.
yeah. Of
Got to go.
course.
Like I'm not even wasting my time. Like, oh, let's try to influence him. No, he's
Yeah.
gone. No, you can tell right by looking at him to listening to him. He is the wrong guy. I
Hmm.
want someone with a chip on their shoulder and something to prove.
Yeah,
David Hogg had the right idea.
yeah.
David Hogg's
He's
been
been on
doing some good
fire.
stuff, and they I don't know why he left. Do you know why he left?
I think he was kicked out. I think they basically booted him. If not, like
Wow.
if he did leave of his own accord, because I forget exactly. I
Yeah.
don't blame him for leaving, honestly.
No.
Yeah,
No, I don't blame him for leaving. No, they completely undermined him. I think they changed the rules or something after he got elected, and so it'd be like it was
yeah.
going to be impossible for him to get reelected or something. I don't know,
Not
but
not to mention they like kind of like twisted his arm and was like, "You can't undermine our representatives. If we're going to lend our support behind the candidate, that's final." And it's like, no, we're not just
right,
going to go
no,
along to get along. We're going to
no,
primary certain representatives and senators if they do not follow through with progressive ideals that the Democratic voters stand behind in mass. You know,
mm,
we shouldn't like just because they're like a legacy Democrat or a good fundraiser or whatever doesn't mean shit if their politics are shit. Like
right,
that period. It's like and he's like David Hogg is my age. Like we fucking get this shit. Why can't these fucking dinosaurs so wrapped up in their old ways get it? You know, it's in oh, just to touch on like elections in general, since like a lot of leftists just don't embrace electoralism like more like liberals do, I guess you can say. There's this idea going around that if it comes down to it, when it comes to Minnesota, for instance, Pam Bondi wanted the voter rolls so that way they can manufacture a narrative that Minnesota is engaging in fraud or there are people voting that shouldn't. And that's why Trump lost Minnesota. So that way we have to take drastic measures to prevent this from happening in every single state. And this is how we're going to do it and blah, blah, blah. I it's because they're desperate. If they could actually just suspend the midterms, they would, but they can't. The way the election apparatus is set up in every state varies drastically. Not every state is going to go along with that, you know, and so if some states participate and some don't, it's just you're going to have a bunch of missing Republican seats. That's
mm,
ultimately what it's going to come down to. So
mm,
it's like it or not, like the elections will happen. Now they know they're going to actually like Republicans know they're fucked. They're fucked come the midterms. I guess Ted Cruz, Weasley, slimy Ted Cruz came out recently. There's leaked audio of him talking to Trump saying, and Vance, if I'm not mistaken, we will lose the House, we will lose the Senate, and you will spend every week of the second half of your term getting impeached. Like he just laid
right.
it out there, you know. And people like Ted Cruz, you know, he's going to run for president. He's going to run again. So he knows that MAGA is a sinking ship, and so he obviously is going to try to differentiate himself, and because he's a fucking opportunist. It,
MAGA is a sinking ship. I think conceptually, but it's actually a. I think we could look back 20 years from now if we get out the other side of this thing
hmm.
and be like, MAGA is what we needed. We needed to have that come to Jesus like
Yeah,
relapse again. We need it
Yeah,
to go to hell and then come out the other side. But that's being really optimistic and really
sure.
generous.
That
I
is.
mean, I tell you what, that's it's like I guess where I'm going is
Mhm.
it's we have to have the attitude if we're gonna have sustained success of it never being good enough,
Mhm.
right? Like until MAGA trash conservatism is less than 5% of our population, I'm not gonna be satisfied.
Yeah, no, me neither.
Right.
Yeah, it does kind of segue into our one of our next topics though, because I do agree that MAGA was necessary for this country to have a come to Jesus moment and wake up to the fact that we do have a lot of knuckle dragging, mouth breathing Neanderthals that can't think for themselves, that fall for a sensationalist dogma and are just too ignorant to function.
Yes.
Let
And the
alone,
politicians too.
yeah, exactly, let alone be allowed to fucking vote. Um, but it might, like, the damage might already done, and I don't know if America will actually recover. At least not in the way that it should, because so much damage has been done to this country in the past 10 years that even if we get a Democrat in power and Democrats take power, the amount of damage that needs to be repaired would take multiple election cycles, without a
Yes.
doubt. And especially if you look at the shifting global order because of Trump and his Liberation Day policies and his tariffs and shit. The world is moving on without us. Like, we can't trust you anymore. We can't count on you. Like, we looked at you like the shining beacon on the hill, but there's so much uncertainty, and we know that, like, we can't count on you guys to make the right decisions anymore. And so you
Right.
have, like, countries like Canada and multiple countries in the EU and whatnot. I think the EU as a bloc in general looking to strike up trade deals with China.
Yeah, I was just gonna say
Yeah.
because China, you know what you're getting. Like they're very
Yes.
real. You know what they're ruthless negotiators,
Yeah.
from what I understand. But you know they're in it for the long haul. Like if you do right by them,
One
they'll
hundred
as long
percent.
as you just agree to terms up front. But they know how to negotiate, so
Yeah, and
don't fuck around with them.
and they know how to put our leaders and representatives in their place too, because, like, after this massive trade deal with China was announced with Canada, you had, like, fucking some representatives whining. You had, like people within Trump's cabinet and Trump himself, and it's just like, I think China even said, like, China's been here 5,000 years. The U.S. has only been here for 250 years. If they want to, like,
Right.
actually move, like, progress, I guess you could say, then they're welcome to. But at this point, it's like they've demonstrated, the United States has demonstrated that they can't be trusted, and the world needs to find more common ground without relying so much on the instability of the U.S., the growing instability, I guess you could say. And that's just going to get worse and worse and worse as time goes on. If Trump leaves and a Democrat gets in office, maybe some amends can be made.
Yeah, it's
it's
gonna take 40 years.
yeah,
It's gonna take it's gonna take
decades,
40 years.
decades.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because it needs. I mean, because all the boomers need to die, and
yes,
then all the Gen Xers need to be ostracized who are still conservatives,
hmm,
and the millennials who are still conservatives can also be ostracized. I think that'll be really easy.
yeah,
And then the Gen Zers. The great thing is the Gen Z women are all about being left. The Gen
hmm,
Z men are going to learn how to be all about being left because they're not going to get laid if they don't want if they
yeah.
if you know
Yeah,
if they're gonna defend MAGA and defend
yeah.
conservatism.
It needs to get to a point where like being MAGA is uncool, and I'm starting. I mean, I'm already starting to see it. Like you can kind of tell like how people are just by how fucking stupid they are, and how they just like repeat the party narrative and the Trump administration's narratives like verbatim and shit. But you don't really see any like MAGA hats in their profiles and anything like
Right.
that. No references to Trump. You still get a few here and there, but I really do think as time has gone on and the failures of this administration have become more apparent, a lot more people are a bit more ashamed
Right.
to be
Right. And my and
associated
my
with MAGA.
concern And my concern is with the establishment left on that is going to be
Hmm.
like, oh, well, they're ready to come back. Big tent, big tent.
Hmm.
Like, like, no, no, no. The triple Trumpers can fuck off and die. And if you ever voted for Trump and you want to come in under the Democratic Party tent,
Hmm.
you're going to be quiet for a really long time.
Yeah,
And you're going to listen and you're going to learn. And
yeah.
if you're going to speak, you're going to ask questions because there's nothing to be gained from including your perspective. This is what I don't think Morning Joe, uh, what's his
Hmm.
name, uh, Joe Scarborough
Hmm.
from Morning Joe.
Hmm.
Okay, this is what I don't think he understands about the Democratic Party is the Democratic Party should not be trying to change in such a way that attracts people like him.
Hmm.
It should be now out of desperation automatically attracting people like him. But when you come to the tent, it's like, okay, check your conservatism at the door
Yeah,
because that's what got us here.
exactly.
Like there are ideological red lines here.
Hmm.
And one of them is Reaganomics.
Yes.
Another one is Clintonomics.
Yeah.
Like this is we got to have these conversations about neoliberalism and progressivism. We need to set boundaries
Yeah.
because there really is nothing, as I said at the top of the show, nothing good about conservatism if your goal is to improve society generation to generation. And that is why the modern day MAGA trash conservatives, that's why they're conservative, is because that's not their goal. They don't care.
Yeah.
They don't care about the next generation.
Yeah.
They just care about getting theirs, and that's it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just like fuck leaving this world a better place than when I got here.
Right.
It's passing the torch. It's like no, the torch is mine. I'm taking it to my grave. Yeah, that's literally the mindset. It's so pathetic.
Well, the children don't forget. Remember, Dieter Decree
Yeah.
number 2. Just because someone looks like an adult doesn't mean they are one. What am I saying there? Conservatives are underdeveloped human beings. They do not know how to interact with others. Or
Yeah.
the tragic cases really are the ones that used to, like people like I know and won't get too specific with, but who are elderly now, who used to have those skills. They used
Hmm.
to have those skills of social empathy, but they made too much money, and now it's just gone. Fuck it. I want more. Give me more. Like that's the thing. Once you
Yeah.
get $1 million, you want $10 million. Once you get $10 million, you want $50 million. Once you get $50 million, you
Hmm.
want a quarter of a billion. That kind of thing.
Hmm.
Like more money, more problems. Like for me, it's skiing. Like
Literally.
if I
Yeah.
had enough, if I had enough money to just go wherever the snow is and go skiing whenever I want,
Hmm.
you know, that would be my price if
Yeah.
I was to get bought. If I was to get bought
Yeah. 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 No
by
kidding.
special interests. Like yeah,
Yeah. Just
I'm gonna
found my
need
ski
about.
trips.
I need a free. Yeah, just fund all my ski trips and all the
Yeah.
people that I want to go skiing with.
Right.
Um,
Yeah. I think uh yeah, with more the more time goes on, the more people will be ashamed to be associated with MAGA, and that's why, like, the past few days, I have seen the same exact memes be circled again and again, and one of them, you ever seen Inglorious Bastards?
yeah, sure.
The meme, there's a few of them, but at the end, if it was up to me, you you wear that uniform for the rest of your life. And I've seen memes like how in the end he cuts the swastika into his forehead.
Yes.
I've seen versions of that, but with ice across the forehead instead, because what happened was so obvious and so egregious, so unjustifiable, so inarguable that we can't let people forget that they defended this shit and have been defending this shit for years and years and years. I have an abolish ICE sticker on my car. I bought my car in 2020. It was one of the first stickers I ever put on my car. This has been an issue as far back as Obama, because a lot of the right wingers, they like to throw that whataboutism out there as if it, you know, just negates everything. It's like, what about Obama? The cage is there. He did the ice, and Obama. It's just like, it was bad then. It was bad under Biden. It's bad now.
Right.
It's the same thing with the Epstein files and shit. It's just like, yeah, release all of them, even
The Dems,
and
yeah.
yeah, yeah, they're they think it's such a gotcha. It's like, oh, Bill Clinton are in the files too. Like, are you sure you want to release this? It's like, yes,
And
yes.
yeah, I mean,
Even
yes,
Bill Clinton
yeah.
said himself, like, it is the law. They were supposed to have the full unreleased files, so the DOJ is actively breaking the law by not releasing the files, and Bubba Clinton's like, I fully support like the full release of the files. We shouldn't be hiding anything. It's just like, yes, because Trump's in there, Bannon's in there, all of Trump's mega donors and billionaire buddies, a whole shitload of them are in there. Trump even told Marjorie Taylor Greene, I need to protect my friends. Like bad things will happen. Like my friends are in there and shit. It's like the the whataboutisms are just so ridiculous.
Yeah, they're gonna find a way. I mean,
Yeah, or like their Lake and Riley shit too. It's just like the difference between like what's happening now is ICE have killed two U.S. citizens, and none of the murderers have been charged. Not to mention, Lake and Riley's killer was charged and imprisoned for life. So
right.
so it's like, what are we talking about here? Are we doing just collective punishment because one person who was here illegally brutally murdered someone? Like,
Hmm.
and that actually tends to be the ideology of this administration. I think it was Christy Noem who had something on, who had a placard on her podium that said, "One of ours, all of yours," which is literally a Nazi slogan.
Right.
Like collective punishment, because like literally a violation of international law. And which that law wouldn't be in place if it wasn't for the fucking Nazis. But like, we're just openly defying that, I suppose. You know?
Yeah, and there's gonna come a time, eco socialist, where people are gonna say tone it down, and that's where people like us need to say no, double down,
Yeah,
and never let them forget, never forgive them, never forget them,
yeah,
never respect them ever again. They are what's wrong with America. They are what stands between us and a better future.
hmm,
And there's no reasoning with them anymore. We have been way too patient.
yeah,
We have been 20 years, 40 years too patient with these people.
yeah,
And it's time we tell them and their kids who idolize them to shut the fuck up, sit the fuck down, and get out of the fucking way
hmm,
forever.
hmm,
Forever.
yeah.
Forever. We
There,
never want you in government ever again.
yes,
Go drink some fruity drinks on a beach and enjoy the health care that we're gonna get you. Okay.
yes, exactly. It's like, I may hate your guts, but I still want you to have fucking health care. It's like, by the way, where's Trump's health care plan at? Still waiting.
Oh, and by the way, no, there's a personal thing there though too. Is I personally admit that if it were a dictatorship, I would not give you health care. But because of the system of our government and how it
Hmm.
works, you will end up getting the health care that I want for just me and my people. I don't want it for you. I used to, but now no. I if you're MAGA and you're still MAGA, you're triple Trumper, you're MAGA till you die. You know, the 1/3 of the voting public.
Hmm.
You can burn in hell. I don't
Right.
want anything to do with you. And don't
Yeah.
come to my kick-ass cities. Don't come to my cities.
Yeah, it's like, I
I'll
mean,
kick your ass.
if you actually do have healthcare, it's like, congratulations, you're enjoying another aspect of socialism that you demonize and vilify just mindlessly day after day. It's like, yeah,
Right.
crazy. So another thing that might actually be turning the tide with a lot of would be Trump supporters, or right wing people in general, but especially a lot of independents and libertarians. A talking point has been circulating, and this is obviously due to the DHS and I think even Cash Patel. I think even the FBI, and the Heritage Foundation as well. And I actually released a short about this on my channel. I don't know if you saw it, um, but they're saying generally, broadly, that you can't bring a loaded firearm to a protest.
And they've
Eh,
got all the examples of the conservatives doing exactly
yeah,
that,
and it's
like
like everybody
Rittenhouse and then
immediately
the
would point
Michigan
to
thing.
Rittenhouse. Yep,
Yeah, yeah.
immediately. Or those that
The
couple.
Michiganders things with Whit or whatever.
Yeah, the couple that
Yeah,
stood
there was like
outside there.
seven. There was like seven examples
There's a
of
lot. Yeah,
yeah,
and
yeah,
it's like, um, for one, yes, the fuck you can. For two,
yeah.
all video evidence shows that Alex Pretti did not have any firearm brandished at any point, nor did he ever reach for his gun. He was protecting someone, for crying out loud. And also, you have Trump posting on True Social that only criminals bring guns to protests. It's just like, oh, that's a new one. Second
Right,
Amendment crowd, are you listening? I hope
right.
I hope you can hear this shit. And so, apparently there's a lot of hubbub on Twitter, this especially among accounts that glorify guns and champion the Second Amendment, which I tend to support. Obviously, I'm actually thinking about getting a rifle myself, maybe at some point. Who knows? But they're all starting to think like, oh, has this all just been a gigantic ruse? Like, is this whole operation in Minnesota just to spark a civil war and bait the public into firing upon government agents so that way this administration can start cracking down on gun ownership, like even
Mhm.
confiscating guns and shit? And it's just like, if that fucking scares you into waking up to how fucking serious this is, that ICE is getting away with murdering people and with no accountability at all, then it's like, yeah, I mean, these are the conspiracies that a lot of these people have been freaking out about and fear mongering about for what, a couple decades at this point, 3 decades, like the Alex Joneses of the world. Yet uh, they can't see it as a potential under this administration, because like, what better agency, what better apparatus to actually go around door to door and confiscating guns than the Department of Homeland Security, ICE agents,
Mhm.
because they're all within they all
Right.
fall under the umbrella of the
Umbrella
DHS.
Homeland. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So it's like, maybe hopefully this is enough to wake up a whole bunch of them. I'm seeing a lot of
Yeah, I'm
signs
just
of
telling
that.
people to maintain. I'm just telling people to maintain your sanity. Just keep your expectations in check,
Yeah.
because it's until we get to the midterms, that's when we'll know really where we stand in terms of what the political winds are doing.
Hmm.
And then, Cruz isn't wrong about like what's going to happen to Trump. He's going to get impeached. He'll
Yeah.
probably, I think, Sam Cedar, or whoever said it was, I think it was Sam Cedar,
Mm-hmm.
said that he might
Love
resign
him.
to try to give JD the incumbency, which would make sense to me. I think that would be a smart move on Trump's part.
I don't think
And then
Trump.
maybe JD pardons him or something like that.
Well, I mean
Uh,
that's definitely something that has been floated, but I still don't think that Trump has. I think Trump's ego is just too big. I think he wouldn't allow something like that. Um, I mean, unless they strong arm him, like they twist his arm is like, we will release all the Epstein files and totally destroy you. We will burn you to the ground if you don't go forward with this plan. Because I really do think that he does stand in the way of a lot of the aspirations of the worst people among him, especially like Marco Rubio and Stephen Miller, for example, or fucking Russell Vought, because Trump's a fucking buffoon, obviously, and he's not as ideologically committed to the most extreme aspects of the far right as those within his administration. So he might just ride it out to the end, and then because I don't. This is the thing too. Like I have never seen him and JD Vance as like a dynamic duo. Like you never see them together. Um, Trump rarely ever has any remarks um, regarding JD Vance. I don't even think he fucking likes the guy. You know,
yeah, maybe you're right.
he
Yeah,
wasn't
maybe you're
he
right.
wasn't even his first choice to begin with. Like his sons were like, no, don't pick Doug Burgum, pick JD Vance, and it's like, why would Trump do that in the first place? JD Vance dragged him regularly um, uh, throughout the years. It made a comment that he was basically this generation's Hitler. You know, it's like why would
Mm.
Trump be okay with that? You know,
Yeah, no,
so
I think you're probably
I
right.
I don't see him. I don't even see him endorsing him. Honestly, I just don't think he has an affinity towards JD Vance at all. And you know, if it is JD Vance that gets the nomination, God, I hope the fucking Democrat wins. Like even if it's Newsom, and I fucking hate him, and I'll probably still vote third party here in California. But God,
No, we'll talk about the players in the upcoming presidential politics next time.
of course,
Did you have anything else you want to cover before we wrapped?
we should we should probably end on the Mark Carney speech.
Okay.
I think it's maybe 12, 15 minutes, but we can always like have it sped up a little bit because he does talk slow and it is at Davos. But yeah, it's being called an historic speech. I think it's really, really, really important, just so everybody has a grasp of how far U.S. hegemony has fallen. Like our status as a superpower has never waned farther than it has currently, even though we've backed off on seizing Greenland. Um, it's still it doesn't matter. Like the trust that other world leaders and countries have had in us has burned away.
Prime Minister of Canada, Mark Carney.
There we go.
Thank you very much, Larry. I'm going to start in French, and then I'll switch back to English. Merci, Larry.
Thank you, Larry. It is both a pleasure and a duty to be with you tonight
Oh, you
in this
can
pivotal
skip
moment
ahead. He
that
actually
Canada and the world
does
going
speak
through
in English.
to build a new state.
Suffer what they must. And this aphorism of Thucydides, rules-based order is fading. That the strong can do what they can,
Back
and the
a
weak must
little
suffer
bit more.
what they must. And this aphorism of Thucydides is fading. That it seems that every day we're reminded that we live in an era of great power rivalry. That the rules-based order is fading. That the strong can do what they can, and the weak must suffer what they must. And this aphorism of Thucydides is presented as inevitable. as the natural logic of international relations reasserting itself. And faced with this logic, there is a strong tendency for countries to go along to get along, to accommodate, to avoid trouble, to hope that compliance will buy safety. Well, it won't. So what are our options? In 1978, the Czech dissident Václav Havel, later president, wrote an essay called The Power of the Powerless. And in it, he asked a simple question: how did the communist system sustain itself? And his answer began with a greengrocer. Every morning, the shopkeeper places a sign in his window: "Workers of the world unite." He doesn't believe it. No one does. But he places a sign anyway to avoid trouble, to signal compliance, to get along. And because every shopkeeper on every street does the same, the system persists. Not through violence alone, but through the participation of ordinary people in rituals they privately know to be false. Havel called this living within a lie. The system's power comes not from its truth, but from everyone's willingness to perform as if it were true. And its fragility comes from the same source. When even one person stops performing, when the greengrocer removes his sign, the illusion begins to crack. Friends, it is time for companies and countries to take their signs down. For decades.
You talk about the U.S.
For decades, countries like Canada prospered under what we called the rules-based international order. We joined its institutions, we praised its principles, we benefited from its predictability. And because of that, we could pursue values-based foreign policies under its protection. We knew the story of the international rules-based order was partially false, that the strongest would exempt themselves when convenient, that trade rules were enforced asymmetrically. And we knew that international law applied with varying rigor depending on the identity of the accused or the victim. This fiction was useful. And American hegemony in particular helped provide public goods, open sea lanes, a stable financial system, collective security, and support for frameworks for resolving disputes. So we placed the sign in the window. We participated in the rituals. And we largely avoided calling out the gaps between rhetoric and reality. This bargain no longer works. Let me be direct. We are in the midst of a rupture, not a transition. Over the past 2 decades, a series of crises in finance, health, energy, and geopolitics have laid bare the risks of extreme global integration. But more recently, great powers have begun using economic integration as weapons. Tariffs as leverage, financial infrastructure as coercion, supply chains as vulnerabilities to be exploited. You cannot live within the lie of mutual benefit through integration when integration becomes the source of your subordination. The multilateral institutions on which the middle powers have relied, the WTO, the UN, the COP, the architecture, the very architecture of collective problem solving are under threat. And as a result, many countries are drawing the same conclusions, that they must develop greater strategic autonomy in energy, food, critical minerals, in finance, and supply chains. And this impulse is understandable. A country that can't feed itself, fuel itself, or defend itself has few options. When the rules no longer protect you, you must protect yourself. But let's be clear-eyed about where this leads. A world of fortresses will be poorer, more fragile, and less sustainable. And there's another truth. If great powers abandon even the pretense of rules and values for the unhindered pursuit of their power and interests, the gains from transactionalism will become harder to replicate. Hegemons cannot continually monetize their relationships. Allies will diversify to hedge against uncertainty. They'll buy insurance, increase options in order to rebuild sovereignty. Sovereignty that was once grounded in rules, but will increasingly be anchored in the ability to withstand pressure. This room knows this is classic risk management. Risk management comes at a price. But that cost of strategic autonomy, of sovereignty, can also be shared. Collective investments in resilience are cheaper than everyone building their own fortresses. Shared standards reduce fragmentations. Complementarities are positive sum. And the question for middle powers like Canada is not whether to adapt to the new reality. We must. The question is whether we adapt by simply building higher walls or whether we can do something more ambitious. Now, Canada was amongst the first to hear the wake-up call, leading us to fundamentally shift our strategic posture. Canadians know that our old comfortable assumptions that our geography and alliance memberships automatically conferred prosperity and security, that assumption is no longer valid. And our new approach rests on what Alexander Stubb, the president of Finland, has termed value-based realism. Or to put another way, we aim to be both principled and pragmatic. Principled in our commitment to fundamental values, sovereignty, territorial integrity, the prohibition of the use of force except when consistent with the UN Charter, and respect for human rights. And pragmatic in recognizing that progress is often incremental, that interests diverge, that not every partner will share all of our values. So we're engaging broadly, strategically with open eyes. We actively take on the world as it is, not wait around for a world we wish to be. We are calibrating our relationships so their depth reflects our values. And we're prioritizing broad engagement to maximize our influence, given the fluidity of the world at the moment, the risks that this poses, and the stakes for what comes next. And we are no longer just relying on the strength of our values, but also the value of our strength. We are building that strength at home. Since my government took office, we have cut taxes on incomes, on capital gains, and business investment. We have removed all federal barriers to interprovincial trade. We are fast-tracking $1 trillion of investments in energy, AI, critical minerals, new trade corridors, and beyond. We're doubling our defense spending by the end of this decade, and we're doing so in ways that build our domestic industries. And we are rapidly diversifying abroad. We've agreed a comprehensive strategic partnership with the EU, including joining SAFE, the European Defense Procurement Arrangements. We have signed 12 other trade and security deals on 4 continents in 6 months. The past few days, we've concluded new strategic partnerships with China and Qatar. We're negotiating free trade pacts with India, ASEAN, Thailand, Philippines, and Mercosur. We're doing something else. To help solve global problems, we're pursuing variable geometry. In other words, different coalitions for different issues based on common values and interests. So on Ukraine, we're a core member of the Coalition of the Willing and one of the largest per capita contributors to its defense and security. On Arctic sovereignty, we stand firmly with Greenland and Denmark and fully support their unique right to determine Greenland's future.
Yes, thank you.
Our commitment to NATO's Article 5 is unwavering. So we're working with our NATO allies, including the Nordic-Baltic Gate, to further secure the alliance's northern and western flanks, including through Canada's unprecedented investments in over-the-horizon radar, in submarines, in aircraft, and boots on the ground, boots on the ice. Canada strongly opposes tariffs over Greenland and calls for focused talks to achieve our shared objectives of security and prosperity in the Arctic. On plurilateral trade, we're championing efforts to build a bridge between the Trans-Pacific Partnership and the European Union, which would create a new trading bloc of 1.5 billion people. On critical minerals, we're forming buyers clubs anchored in the G7 so that the world can diversify away from concentrated supply. And on AI, we're cooperating with like-minded democracies to ensure that we won't ultimately be forced to choose between hegemons and hyperscalers. This is not naive multilateralism, nor is it relying on their institutions. It's building coalitions that work, issues by issue, with partners who share enough common ground to act together. In some cases, this will be the vast majority of nations. What it's doing is creating a dense web of connections across trade, investment, culture, on which we can draw for future challenges and opportunities. Argue the middle powers must act together because if we're not at the table, we're on the menu. But I'd also say that great powers can afford for now to go it alone. They have the market size, the military capacity, and the leverage to dictate terms. Middle powers do not. But when we only negotiate bilaterally with a hegemon, we negotiate from weakness. We accept what's offered. We compete with each other to be the most accommodating. This is not sovereignty. It's the performance of sovereignty while accepting subordination. In a world of great power rivalry, the countries in between have a choice: compete with each other for favor or to combine to create a third path with impact. We shouldn't allow the rise of hard power to blind us to the fact that the power of legitimacy, integrity, and rules will remain strong if we choose to wield them together. Which brings me back to Havel. What does it mean for middle powers to live the truth? Well, first, it means naming reality. Stop invoking rules-based international order as though it still functions as advertised. Call it what it is: a system of intensifying great power rivalry where the most powerful pursue their interests using economic integration as coercion. It means acting consistently, applying the same standards to allies and rivals. When middle powers criticize economic intimidation from one direction but stay silent when it comes from another, we are keeping the sign in the window. It means building what we claim to believe in. Rather than waiting for the old order to be restored, it means creating institutions and agreements that function as described. And it means reducing the leverage that enables coercion. That's building a strong domestic economy that should be every government's immediate priority. And diversification internationally is not just economic prudence, it's a material foundation for honest foreign policy, because countries earn the right to principled stands by reducing their vulnerability to retaliation. So Canada. Canada has what the world wants. We are an energy superpower. We hold vast reserves of critical minerals. We have the most educated population in the world. Our pension funds are amongst the world's largest and most sophisticated investors. In other words, we have capital, talent. We also have a government with immense fiscal capacity to act decisively. And we have the values to which many others aspire. Canada is a pluralistic society that works. Our public square is loud, diverse, and free. Canadians remain committed to sustainability. We are a stable and reliable partner in a world that is anything but. A partner that builds and values relationships for the long term. And we have something else. We have a recognition of what's happening and a determination to act accordingly. We understand that this rupture calls for more than adaptation. It calls for honesty about the world as it is. We are taking the sign out of the window. We know the old order is not coming back. We shouldn't mourn it. Nostalgia is not a strategy. But we believe that from the fracture, we can build something bigger, better, stronger, more just. This is the task of the middle powers. the countries that have the most to lose from a world of fortresses and most to gain from genuine cooperation. The powerful have their power. We have something too. The capacity to stop pretending, to name reality, to build our strength at home, and to act together. That is Canada's path. We choose it openly and confidently, and it is a path wide open to any country willing to take it with us. Thank you very much.
Yeah, man.
All right. Pretty amazing.
No, for real.
Canada really killed it these last few decades, setting themselves up for such success.
They really want it. They're essentially saying like we will be the new United States.
Yeah, it's
You know,
basically what he said. Yeah.
they're on their way to become the next superpower. Honestly, like everything he said, like in no uncertain terms, in a few different ways. There, like the United States is all talk. They claim they stand for this and they stand for that. It's like they don't stand by their word. They're full of shit. They betray themselves, and therefore the rest of us who have begrudgingly been in lockstep with them for the longest time. I it truly is amazing, and this gigantic deal with China too, that was just announced. I mean, I've even considered, I've even considered because like I do think that the fall of the United States, the collapse of the United States, will be within our lifetimes, and it's got me thinking like I might
Yeah,
as well.
Eco Socialist made this point. I was going to say,
Mhm.
yeah, I wouldn't call Canada on its way to becoming a superpower. I think superpower should be a thing of the past.
No,
Is
right?
kind of
Yeah,
what his
like
point is. But
yeah,
he's talking about like a leader within the
a
coalition
coalition.
of
Yeah,
middle powers. Yes.
yes, yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah. I think
mean,
that's right.
it more so in juxtaposition to the United States, I think is more so the point. Like obviously, like not a superpower like the United States, but a leader that can emulate the values that the United States has espoused, but never um fully
Delivered on.
exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said before, like United States has been all talk and everything. But yeah, what I was gonna say is I even considered like uh maybe I should become a Canadian citizen. Maybe that's where my
Yeah. No,
future
a lot
should
of
be.
people, you wouldn't be the first one. You wouldn't be the last.
Yeah, and
Plenty of people have done that.
it's not even. Well, it is because of Trump, but it's like I want a stable economic future, and if everybody is divesting from the United States, and the debt to GDP ratio just keeps going up and up and up, like the interest payments keep on going more. We can. They're also negotiating trade deal with India, like Europe. The just announced one. Yeah, I heard about that as well. It's like everybody is leaving the United States behind, and it's all Trump's fault.
Yep.
He will be like the final nail in the coffin
Yes.
for the U.S. empire.
That's exactly right. I believe that. I think that he is our last shot of heroin being greed
Hmm.
into the arm, and we thought that we could just greed out and everyone was going to get rich,
Yeah.
and it just ended up imploding the entire system. Hey,
Yep.
if it's your first time here, if you're watching, if you don't mind subscribing, that would be really great. It's
Yes.
tough to build a subscriber base, so please subscribe. We got a number of people watching here, and I really
Yes.
appreciate y'all's your support. We are gonna wrap soon after a good show. If you didn't catch all the show, just
Yeah.
zoom it back there and have a listen because it's pretty good stuff.
Yeah.
But what are your? I've got a show just before you can have the last word, Stat Pat. But
Mhm.
before you do, just letting everyone know I'll be on this space tomorrow at 4 o'clock Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, with my buddy Alex Haha from New York, and we'll be talking about all this kind of stuff as well. But
Yeah.
until then,
Yeah.
ahead, step out.
Yeah, I've had a consistent viewer base as well, pretty much the whole stream. For the few of you that have been in here, I really appreciate it. Make sure you subscribe to my channel and Dieter's as well. You might catch me in your live chat tomorrow at the tail end of my workday,
Sweet.
Dieter. So I'll probably chime into your guys' conversation.
That'd
But
be sweet.
but yeah, and I think we should get back into like a more routine thing. You know,
Yeah.
I'm feeling a lot easier about actually doing shows. It's not something I dread anymore. You know, it's something
Okay.
like politics in general. You know, it's it's a balance. It's a balancing act. You know, I can't get so
Right.
wrapped up in it to where like I'm just like in a mood, and because a lot of it's so depressing. But I'm not going to be completely taken out of it, and I. It's like I said, it's not going to be something I dread, so we can make this like more a routine thing again, like it
All
used to
right.
be.
Sounds good.
Yeah,
All right. Well, we'll see you guys back here next week then.
yeah.
Till then, don't forget, you don't get change in America by asking nicely.
Everybody have a good night.
Take it easy.